mynews.studio.
In 2026, just about every new megawatt added to the U.S. power grid will come from renewables. But the big question is, if we rely on batteries and solar together, will that be enough to keep the lights on during extreme weather?
Today's date is 2026-02-17. The U.S. is on the verge of a significant change. More than 99% of new power capacity this year will come from renewables and battery storage. That adds up to nearly 70,000 megawatts. Fossil fuels, on the other hand, will make up less than 1% of new additions. So, what's driving this shift? Why now?
There are really three main drivers. First, the cost of renewables and batteries has dropped a lot. For instance, battery storage systems are now 61% cheaper than they were in 2020. Second, the technology itself has improved. Today's batteries are more efficient, and they can be paired directly with solar, which gives grid operators more flexibility. Third, there's strong demand for clean energy, not just because of climate targets, but also from sectors like AI and data centers that need steady, scalable power.
Okay, that all sounds impressive, but let's look at the reality on the ground. Is the grid ready for such a big shift to sources that can be unpredictable? What happens if there's a heat wave or a deep freeze?
That's a key concern. The answer depends a lot on battery storage. Take Texas as an example. ERCOT's battery capacity is expected to grow from 15 gigawatts in 2025 to 37 gigawatts by 2027. When batteries are installed alongside solar, operators can move energy loads and waste less generation. During events like wildfires or heat waves, these batteries help stabilize the grid. But
wait, just to clarify, the batteries, they're mostly 4-hour systems, right? So if you have a longer outage, like days instead of hours, what then?
exactly. Most large-scale batteries today last about 4 hours. For anything longer, like multi-day disruptions, we'll need different kinds of long-duration storage, which are still being developed.
So, the technology is moving fast, but it's not a complete solution yet. What about policy? Have government actions made a difference? And could political changes slow things down?
Policies have had a big impact. The OBBBA, One Big Beautiful Bill Act, locked in important tax credits until 2030, but made the requirements stricter. There was also a rush to buy solar components before certain credits ran out. Still, there are challenges. Tariffs on imports from Cambodia and Thailand, and possible delays in supply chains and permits could slow things. Previous attempts to restrict wind and solar didn't succeed, but tougher approvals might slow the pace. Overall, though, strong demand and developer innovation have kept things moving, even when politics got complicated.
There's also the international side. If the US really adds 70 gigawatts of solar this year, does that influence how other countries deal with energy?
It does. The International Energy Agency predicts global solar and wind capacity could go up by 20% this year, partly because of what's happening in the U.S. It puts pressure on fossil fuels, mainly coal and gas, and pushes American companies to lead in battery storage and advanced manufacturing. Tariffs might slow things down short term, but the bigger effect is that other countries see what's possible. Plus, by 2030, more than half of new U.S. solar is expected to be paired with batteries, which sets a technical and policy example for others.
So this isn't just about the environment or the economy. It's also about the U.S. shaping global energy and security. Are there takeaways for countries that are trying to move away from fossil fuels?
The main lesson is that when falling costs, supportive policies, and new technology come together, big changes are possible. But risk management matters a lot. In places like California and Texas, where wildfires and storms are common, developers are learning to spread out assets and design for resilience, not just maximum capacity.
And looking further ahead, the competition changes. U.S. firms not only lead domestically, but also export their technology and expertise, which boosts the U.S. position internationally.
Right. This is about transformation, but also about dealing with real-world challenges. Technology, policy, and market forces are all pushing the grid toward being cleaner and more resilient. The real question is whether the grid can keep up as demand grows and the climate becomes more unpredictable.
That wraps up today's episode, a deep dive into how the U.S. is changing its power grid and what that means globally. Renewables are rising, batteries are expanding, but the hurdles are still there.
Thanks for tuning in. We covered the rapid growth of renewables, the importance of batteries, the influence of policy, and the effects beyond the U.S. The key question remains, can policy and technology keep ahead of climate and demand?
Thank you for listening. This episode was brought to you by mynews.studio. Try it out for free.